Hello everyone. You didn't see from socials, I got a haircut. New look, new do for the summer ends. But this video is not about that, obviously. This one is to follow up with the 5 books that I chose to read that were from my old little book stash and stuff, and see if the taste I had back then still is kind of something that I like, that kind of still lives up to today's kind of standards, I guess, or my standards, I guess, today. So I decided to pick a book. I picked one that I thought, I know I've read this one before. I kind of remember a little bit, not a lot. Like, I remember the plot, I remember the chemistry between the main female character and male character. I remember there's drama, but I couldn't remember obviously who had done it. And that was Linda Howard's To Die For, which, by the way, this book is super shiny. And then I laughed because I was looking at this book too, and I laughed. I looked at the copyright, and I told my husband, I said, this book was out in 2005. I think I was in middle school or elementary school. That's obviously not when I read it. I didn't read it till later in high school, so like 2008 or 9, so like 3-4 years later. But I am reading this one. I figured it would be quicker and easier. I am already on page 109, chapter 9, so just a little bit of the way. I left. My husband's like, oh, if you've read that before, you'll be done in like a couple hours. And I probably could have, but the beginning was a little slow. And I was forgetting, I forgot a lot of the details in the beginning, and then as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Oh, there's that. And then I said that there's a second book, and I remembered who did the crime in the second book, but I couldn't in this one. As I was reading the beginning and some information came up, I was like, I remember who did it in this one now. Do I remember why? 100%? A little bit, but also I'm like, no. So, this one, like I said, we'll see how it goes. So far, I'm still enjoying it, still like it. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated when I get maybe closer to the end or when I finish and let you know my thoughts, ratings, and all that. And if it's still as good as I remember it. So, yeah, bye. Hello again. It's been a couple days and it's been a little bit chaotic at my household, so I didn't get as much reading done, but I did get a little farther in here. I am now on chapter 17, page 210. Again, I'm still liking it, but I'm also not liking it, I think, as much as I originally did. Right now, we're getting to the part where they're still trying to find out who killed the girl that she saw get murdered at her gym. She's had some incidences that make it where it still seems kind of like it might be her that was the original target. She's still dealing with her feelings and all that for the lieutenant and stuff. So it's kind of still going along. The banter is still kind of funny. Certain parts of it are still funny. But I'm definitely not enjoying it as much as I think I originally did. But it's not horrible. It's just, again, I remember who the person was that did it. I think I briefly also remember why, but not fully. I think I remember. So, but yeah. So I'll let you know at the end what my thoughts are, how I feel. But hopefully I can finish it now tonight, now that there's a little less craziness going on in my house. And we'll see how this goes, and then I will pick the next book. And hopefully we can get at least another 1 or 2 books done before I have to post this. So we'll see. We'll see. Alright guys, it has been a while. Life has gotten very chaotic from the last week or two. I do want to give an update. I did finish To Die For, and I did start another book. So real quick, thoughts on To Die For. This one I gave a 3.5 star. I liked it. It was still funny, still interesting, but I think the problem with that is that the fact that since I have read it and I did remember kind of who committed the crimes, it kind of took away from the surprise and like, oh snap kind of stuff. So again, it was interesting, it was funny. I will say this one's kind of spicy a little bit, so if you don't like it, there's that. The banter is funny. The main character Blair though is kind of like one who like she's smart, but she plays the dumb blonde, but she's also kind of a little snotty and bratty a little bit too. And as the Lieutenant Wyatt Bloodsworth says, she's kind of high maintenance, and that is so obvious in this book. So pretty interesting, pretty good. Again, there is a second book. I'm not going to read that one because I 100% remember that one and know what's going on with that one. This one, I at first forgot who was guilty, and then the first few pages brought it back to me, so kind of defeats the purpose. But this one, not too bad. And then, as I said, I started Witchling. This was one that was kind of a paranormal story. I am roughly page 50. It's a small little book. It's only like 276 pages, so it's not too much. I will say that while reading this, I don't remember a single thing from this book at all. So all of this is like new information going into my head. But I will say that this one is like super slow and like very confusing because again, there are three sisters. They're half fae, half human, but then like one is a witch, one is like a shifter, and one became a vampire. And that part alone confuses me as their sisters. They're currently in the human world working as agents for this place, trying to figure out things. And like they're talking about like how they are part of the other world, but they didn't fit in, but they're part of this world, but they don't fit in. And like there's some stuff where it's like I wish like the way it was introduced already was kind of different because it just like kind of throws you in there and expects you to like just pick this stuff up as you go. And I don't like it that way right now because it's just like some of this is so confusing and hard to understand that I just wish it would like have taken the time in the beginning to kind of go over the backgrounds a little more and how stuff is and then kind of move into the plot versus everything is together and smushed and thrown. So hopefully, like I said, I'm trying to finish this one hopefully here soon. I want to get into the next one here soon. I am behind schedule a lot with this video because of life kind of getting chaotic and crazy. So hopefully I can finish this here soon, but I'll probably give you another update when I get a little closer to like the middle, maybe closer to the end, depending on how long this takes. So I will let you guys know how this is a little later. Okay? Alright guys. I am back. My allergies are acting up. So my eyes are watery, I'm sniffly and sneezy, and my voice might sound weird. But I wanted to give an update real quick before I forget on Witchling. I am now roughly about page 162, so a little over halfway. The story in one way is picking up, but it's also kind of all over the place. There's so much going on. Like they're finding out, like they're trying to figure out who killed this Jocko guy. They have an idea of who did it, kind of, and they found out kind of maybe why they're trying to kill the otherworld people who are on Earth. But like then they have to find that there's a lot of death going on. There's a little bit of spies going on between the Camille character and like a guy she had before, and like all this other stuff that's kind of getting thrown in there randomly. And there's like a bunch of different kind of supernaturals. And I basically feel like I'm kind of like the Chase character in this book, who's an FEH, which means full-blooded human. I feel like him because every time something new comes up, he's asking a question and they have to kind of explain, like, oh, this is who they are, what they are, stuff like that, right? Like, we have different classified parts of demons, different, like, harpies and, like, all this stuff, corpse talkers, vampires. We have a yokai kitsune, a fox demon. We have different kinds of fae and stuff. And I feel like it's a lot to get thrown into this book. Mind you, this book is under 300 pages, which nowadays, this would probably be like a $400 or $500 or 400 or 500 page book, because it would go through explaining more specifically each character's like thing or something, I feel. So it feels like it's jam packed with all this information, and I'm just kind of confused. But it's picked up to where at least I'm more interested, but I don't know for sure how it's going to go. So we're going to keep seeing. I will probably let you guys know how it is closer to the end, and then hopefully we can pick our next book before I submit this video, post it. I don't think I'm going to get through all 5. I tried, but things have gone crazy, and this one is dragging a little bit because of how it is, so we'll see. But I will let you know when I finish it and what I'm rated, what I think overall, and then what we're going to pick next to read. So yeah, bye. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days. Things were getting a little crazy with back to school preparations for my kids, but I finished Witchling. I gave this, I think, roughly a 3-star. I found out this series is like 20 books long, and with what's going on, that means that stuff's getting dragged out or more stuff's getting added to cause drama. But based on this one, I don't remember how much, but we found out that demons are trying to break in. They have to break the seals to these certain portals. There's like 9. And they need these portal keys to break in. So they go and they're looking for it. And they get help from a bunch of different other people. But then they can't go back to the fairy realm to get help because there's drama going on in their fairy world realm court stuff. So they're on their own with that. And yeah, there's just a lot already going on. A lot that's just confusing. There's a lot of different creatures and magical items and things going on that I'm just like, there's way too much. It was still interesting, and I still thought it was pretty interesting, but there's just a lot going on that made it where I wouldn't pick up book 2, 3, 4, whatever, just because no. So, like I said, this one I gave a 3-star. Not bad, 100%, but not good enough to make me want to read the others and stuff. And then I was reading Taken by Cynthia Eden. I am roughly, how many pages? I'm almost page 100. I'm on page 97, chapter 5. And this one, like I said, I remember kind of reading stories like this one, but I don't remember this specific one. Again, Bailey was the survivor of a serial killer. Her specifically was called the Death Angel, and she survives, basically. She gets found, and then she goes to the lost agency who helps find missing people, because she remembers that before she was found and survived, that there was another victim that the Death Angel had, and that person got away, and she's trying to figure out, like, who are they, where are they, stuff like that. And everyone else thinks she's just crazy. She thought it up, she imagined it, all this stuff. So she goes to the loss agency, who finds missing people, hires them. She gets Archer. Is it Archer or Asher? Asher. She gets Asher. He's a current member for the team. He was an ex-Navy SEAL. He has his own dark past, apparently. And he gets assigned her case to help her. And she's basically trying to not only find this person that she remembers, but kind of get back to who she was before. And she finally feels like she can with Asher, at least in some sense, because she had a fiance before who said nobody's going to love you after what you've been through, because she has scars all over. She was like stabbed, sliced, all that. And basically, she's dealing with that. And we're in the midst of another kind of like viewpoint of either maybe the killer's not dead, or maybe there's someone else there who's kind of watching her and kind of stalking. So that's kind of where we're at with this one. I will say I like this one, but like I said, I feel like I have maybe read this one, but maybe not. I do remember that with like Cynthia Eden books, she has kind of like a dark romance where there's always like one who suffered something maybe tragic, or who like had like a family member who was kind of evil or something. There's always like something where basically it's like a question of like good or evil kind of thing, and like whether they deserve love or are able to find someone who like can accept their darker parts. So it's kind of almost like a dark romance, but not quite. So that's what I'm currently reading. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully finish this up soon. I stopped because I wanted to make sure I updated you guys on finishing Witchling, and this I've only read this for 2 days already and stuff, so hopefully this flies by quicker and we'll see where it goes. So bye. Alright guys, I came back with an update on Taken. I've officially finished it. This one I gave a 4 or a 3.75. I think it was a 3.75. This one was really good. This one I didn't remember anything about it, so if I read it, I don't remember it. It's been that long. And it's not saying like it's not memorable. It's just, it's been one of those books where it was unpredictable in a sense. Like, this is a good kind of almost thriller romance kind of book in a sense. So this one was really good. Unfortunately, this week is the end of this journey. So out of the books that I read from my old books, I got a total of 3 done. This one was, of course, last month, technically, and these 2 were this month. I could probably maybe read these, I don't know. But my thing is that for sure I know that I have read both of these and stuff. And mind you, I don't know how I would feel about this one as much anymore, even though I do have a lot of the books. I might still like it, I might not. I know for sure that these were always really good and interesting. So it's one of those things where I might try to read these still this month. It just won't be in this video. It might not. Let me know if you guys want me to. No. Hold on. But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to read these and give you my thoughts on these ones as well. But like I said, for now, having read these 3, I can say that in one way I still have a similar taste, but it's grown. And I think in one way too, it's harder because back then I was just reading. I wasn't reading to like express like what's going on in the book. I was reading for basically vibes only. I never gave star ratings until couple of years ago. So it's one of those things where I think if back then, if I had done what I'm doing now, it would be a different story. But for the most part, I think these two were still pretty good. Like I said, the only reason this had a star rating less than probably what it would have originally is just because I knew what was going on. I knew what was happening and stuff. But it was still fun, still interesting. So there's that. Like I said, this one completely didn't remember. The only issue is that some of it is very fast paced. I would say for this one, it happens very quickly, like within a few days for sure, like 4 or 5 days. So it's a little crazy on that aspect, but still interesting. And then this is just so much crammed into this one book. It wasn't bad, but it was just so much crammed into this one book. And finding out this series is like 20 plus books, I don't get how with what I read here. But, you know, good for the author. I just didn't like this one as much. And there's so many things that I'm still confused and questioning based on reading this. So, but let me know your guys' thoughts. Like I said, do you want me to read the other two? Do you want me to do something similar to this with some of the other books I have in my bins that I pulled out of my garage from like 20 some odd years ago? Let me know, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully with a vlog. We will see. Oh, and I didn't get to mention, but we have a nice new little couch, so I can do more vlogs from said couch as well now. But let me know you guys' thoughts, and thanks for watching if you watched this far. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.